So this is a celebration of a 30th birthday of what people now call a landmark, groundbreaking, iconic, all those words, exhibition that was the lead exhibition for the Edinburgh Festival at the National Gallery in 1987. It contained 17 artists, all different, was very diverse.
Ian Hughes and I were very frustrated because we knew that there was something amazing going on in Scottish art at that time, and we decided that we needed to hold a protest outside of the RSA buildings where the exhibition was, and bring to attention the fact that Scottish artists, young Scottish artists, seemed to be being overlooked at that time.
It actually just arose very spontaneously out of Glasgow School of Art, out of the painting department of Glasgow School of Art.
There was a real kind of upsurge of a sort of vibrant practice going on in Scotland, and we just wanted to make that point. Unfortunately, Frank Dunlop agreed with us when he saw this, and he saw our enthusiasm.
Claire, as in Claire Henry, knew everybody. Right? She went to everybody's exhibitions, knew all the artists, and decided to capture that energy in one show. It wasn't a heavily curated exhibition. It was just it was slightly sort of anarchic, but that was the zeitgeist, that anarchy.
There was a huge range of work there, from installation pieces. I think there were about 5 artists working in installation, painting, photography, sculpture. There was everything, and that was really what made it such a vibrant show.
You didn't have exhibitions that included painting and photography and sculpture. It didn't happen. Everything was in its kind of silo. So this was kind of new to me.
Sam Ainsley, for the Vigorous Imagination, made outstanding installations in that she did a banner, a huge banner across the facade of the building.
I'd done these shaped canvases for the Third Eye Centre exhibition, which were female figures, twice life size, and talking about the many roles of women, because you could be all those things. You could be an artist, a writer, a poet, a mother, a lover, all in one. The
kind of work I was making was very much about that sense, particularly from a kind of male perspective as well. The idea of these, the idea of what happens to these men who've built up these gigantic personas that are involved in the epic battles with steel and ships and stuff like that, and how that was all just crumbling away into dust.
Covered all the walls with canvas and painted it completely with optical colours, so it was very vibrant and had an optical shift, which I lowered the lighting so there was a very low light, but when you walked into that room it was as if the whole room was vibrating. It caused quite a stir, I remember.
It was really called The Great Divide, and it was really the idea that all the wealth was in the south of England, but actually in your own city you could see that there was a discrepancy between rich and poor.
I did these Beauty and the Beast paintings, which one is downstairs, and I must tell you that painting downstairs, it's never been shown before, so it's quite unique. So I've been painting constantly all my life since then.
It always felt kind of amazing, witnessing this other person in front of me. The kind of subtleties of, that you can witness with light falling on the body, and also the psychological realities of, yourself looking at another person, the kind of quality of perception that you have of another person, and also the kind of inner world of the other person. These were things that were all playing around in my mind, while I was also very committed to reality, like exactly how the light and the shadow would form on the skin.
The whole point of it was just to say, look, there's a lot of energy coming from Scotland, and there always has been, and there always will be. And this was just like a snapshot of what was happening in 1987.
I just remember that there was a tremendous feeling of excitement and celebration about the whole thing, and I think that's something that stayed with me.
We were appearing on television, we were on Newsnight, galleries from London were contacting us, a number of us joined Rab Gallery from Berlin immediately after the show. So there was a huge amount of critical and media attention that this show generated, and it really took us by surprise. The exhibition visitor numbers exceeded anything that the National Galleries had ever had before, and this was because of the public enthusiasm for the work as well.
There were lots of exhibitions arranged subsequent, immediately after the Vigorous Imagination. The artists were very busy with exhibitions all over the place and abroad, and some managed to get a career, say, with a dealer in Berlin for 25 years, or with a dealer in London.
Afterwards, I was invited to show in London, the gallery in London, and continued with the series of prints, which are here, showing here tonight, and the whole thing kind of escalated.
It gave me confidence to actually stay in Scotland, to believe in Scotland, to believe that what Scottish art could offer what was important and of international significance.
What it did for me conceptually is it brought me back to Scotland, and it really made me, it kind of brought me back into the fold in a way that was kind of interesting, and it made me start to think about that, and also the idea that you could come back and live and work in Scotland as an artist. That wasn't on the cards in 1987. It just wasn't.
There was this big reaction against the Vigorous Imagination, which propelled a lot of the artists involved in that to incredible levels of success. I mean, for example, Glasgow School of Art is now one of the most successful art schools in the world.
Quite a lot of succeeding generations of artists have cited it as an influence. They may not have liked the work, but they certainly applauded the ambition of it.
Well, I don't think anybody realised that it was going to be what people call now a seminal exhibition of Scottish art.
I think now all these boundaries have gone, and I think that's part to do with the way art schools have changed, it's part to do with technology, and it's part of the kind of the visibility of the artists to kind of push those boundaries. And again, you could argue that within the context of Scotland, the Vigorous Imagination had its part to play in that.
I think it showed, to me anyway, that Scottish art had finally found its voice on an international stage, and when Scotland found its voice in that exhibition, it roared. You know, it gave a big loud roar.